Welcome back, my fellow mobile gamers, to my weekly roundup of the 4 most interesting mobile games I played last week. My name is NimbleThor, and unless this is the first video of mine you're watching, you probably know the format by now. One game in less than 1 minute, adding as much relevant information along the way as possible. And today, my friends, we will be checking out a 2D indie MMORPG with no pay to win and a very unique monetization model. And it's been a very long time since I found one of those games, so I'm very excited to share it with you guys. We'll also be checking out a wacky basketball game for people who don't know how to play basketball, an endless runner chess game, and yes, you heard that right, and lastly, a sci-fi MMO with a ton of content to explore. Now, I've left a bunch of links in the description box if you want to learn more about each game, and be sure to stick around till the end of this video for my favorite game of the week. So today's first game is Second Galaxy, which is a beautiful new open-world sci-fi MMO where we slowly unlock a fleet of spaceships, upgrading their weapons and parts to take on campaign missions, side quests, and then eventually player versus player combat. Although there are plenty of stats and upgrades, which allows for heavy min-maxing, the game does feel like a simplified version of the EVE Online PC game, with no way of manually controlling our spaceship during combat, and instead we simply tap the enemy we want to attack and then pick any of our weapons or abilities to start firing. Now, the game is actually great fun and it's of high quality, but its two main downsides is that we can't freely explore the universe on our own, and then secondly, the monetization, which includes multiple battle pass-like subscriptions that provide a pay-to-progress faster advantage. The game requires online access, it takes up 1.86 GB of space, it's out on Android and on iOS, and if you're looking for a sci-fi MMO with a ton of content, Second Galaxy can definitely deliver, although you might want to be careful about getting into the PvP because of the monetization system. But at the end of the day though, the game is easily worth considering checking out, at least until EVE Online Mobile releases. But if you're not into huge-ass sci-fi MMOs though, today's next game is something completely different. It's called Bouncy Basketball, and it's a fun, wacky 2D basketball game with both single-player tournaments and quick fights, and same-device multiplayer game modes. We aim, we jump, and we shoot, all using just a one-finger control system, which is what keeps the game casual and easy to play, while still allowing for some pretty epic slam dunks and ball steals. And in fact, there's a surprisingly high skill ceiling in this game, at least considering that it's a casual game. The game monetizes through occasional video advertisements with no in-app purchase to remove these ads, but fortunately they don't appear too often, so it's not a big bother when playing the game. The game can be played offline, it takes up only 98 MB of space, it's available on Android and on iOS, and if you're like me and you don't like sports games that take themselves all too seriously, then Bouncy Basketball is definitely worth taking for a spin, and I think you'll actually enjoy the game. Now, today's next game I just can't wait to show you guys. Okay, so ChessFinity is a turn-based endless runner chess game where, equipped with one of each type of chess pieces, we have to get as far as we can down the endless chessboard in 60 seconds without losing all of our chess pieces. We gain a bonus time whenever we wipe out an opponent chess piece, we can switch between all of our remaining chess pieces at any point in time, and when one of our chess pieces die, we're taking back to the latest checkpoint. This core gameplay loop is fun and it's challenging, but I can't help but feel that a Zen game mode, where we're not stressed by a 60-second countdown timer, would do this game wonders. Monetization is non-obtrusive for the most part, with a $3 in-app purchase to remove advertisements, although it should be said that I haven't even seen a single ad in my time with the game, and then in-app purchases going up to $9 to gain more in-game gold immediately, which can be spent on temporarily upgrading individual chess pieces. The game can be played offline, it takes up 139 MB of space, it's out on Android and on iOS, and because of this unique gameplay, I think a lot of you guys will really enjoy ChessFinity, as long as you at least know the basics of the normal chess game. Curse of Aros is a new no-pay-to-win, top-down, open-world, 2D indie MMORPG with PvE, with PvP, rare pets, and with loot that drops to the ground, which I feel is worth mentioning because we don't see that in too many mobile MMO games. Now, the combat system in Curse of Aros is pretty simplistic, which means that there are no abilities that we can use, pretty much like in old-school RuneScape, but the short fights and the ability to kite our enemies ensures that the combat won't grow too stale. Now, the game is still very early in its development though, so things like the combat system might change, and for example, we just saw the addition of a mining skill very recently, and monetizing only through selling cosmetic items and through the developer's Patreon page, this game has the potential at least to turn into a true indie MMORPG gem in the future, and that's what really excites me about the game. The game requires online access, it takes up only 24 MB of space, which I actually think makes this the smallest MMO I've played on mobile so far. It's available on Android and on iOS via test flight at least, and if you've been looking for a fair 2D free-to-play MMORPG, Curse Curse of Aros is a very easy recommendation, and you probably guessed it, it's my favorite game of the week as well. And that's a wrap. I hope that you've enjoyed the video and that you'll consider subscribing for more mobile gaming goodness, because then, till next time, just keep gaming, stay awesome, and I'll see you guys around.